Hi guys, welcome to Anna's Nail Advice, a series where you guys send me pictures of your troubled nails and I try to figure out what's going on with your nails. And I try to figure out because I don't always know. So one of our viewers sent us these pictures. So at first you're like, okay, this doesn't look like a problem, bit of a peeling, right? But then you look at this, okay, peeling, and then you see this. Right? And that looks like a separation of the nail plate from the nail bed. So it's easy to remember. So the plate is sitting on the bed is not sitting on the plate. So the nail plate is separating from the nail bed. And this is what she writes. I'm attaching pictures of my nails with hopes that you can tell me how to make them healthier. I don't understand why the tips of my nail bed are jagged at the edge. Hope you can help me. Okay, so I don't have a lot of information, and this is sometimes the problem because very often people have these they send me these questions in hopes that there is one easy answer that I can give them, and usually there is much more investigation that has to happen. I have to know much more about the nails in order to figure out what's going on. So let's say if this person came, let's go through a few scenarios. Okay, so if this person was getting gel or acrylic done and this is happening, my first reaction would be, okay, this is not good because this seems to me like this is a reaction to some of the ingredients in the nail products, because this, especially lately, unfortunately, it's pretty common. So this is what you would call a nail bed hyperkeratosis. So what that means, it's not a name of disease, it's a name of a description of a condition, it's a statement that basically, as we can see, that the nail bed is thickening up and it's kind of scaly, right? So it just produces more keratin, really. It's getting thicker. And when that's happening, it kind of pushes the nail up and it separates. And why is this happening with especially enhancements nowadays? Well, I guess because there are a few things, right? So these products are becoming more and more common and more people are using them. And very often these companies sell to DIYers and anybody can get it. And of course, in order to sell the product, they advertise it as such an easy product to use and you can just paint it on and whatever, build it up a little bit and your nails are going to be stronger. They don't really teach about allergic reactions, and they sometimes mention it at the very bottom when you read, if irritation occurs, stop using it. But you're like, who reads that, right? Small print at the bottom. So I think before people are using these products, they should really know about how allergic reactions happen. Because if they know how they happen exactly, then they know how to prevent it. But very often, I just actually got another email from one of our viewers, I think from Hungary, and she's been using gel polish and she ended up with a big problem with her nails, and she doesn't know what's going on. So she doesn't know what's going on, and for sure it's allergic reaction to the product. So why is this happening? So why is all of a sudden the nail bed starting to produce extra cells? So think about it. It's usually due to something being applied on the nail plate. Very often the nail plate is damaged, and this is why people get their nails done, because their nails are damaged, so they want to fix them. But unfortunately, when the nail plate is damaged, it's much thinner, and some of the products, some of the ingredients in the product, so in the gel, in acrylic, so liquid and powder, so the monomer, the liquid, it's seep or primers, bonders, whatever. So the molecules of these products are pretty small and they can penetrate through the very thin nail plate and they can hit the nail bed. So these products are designed to be used on the nails, and believe it or not, they're designed to be used on healthy nails. But if someone has healthy nails, they usually don't think of gel, right? So it's kind of weird that way. But anyway, so your body is trying to, so think of it as like a defense mechanism. So your body is trying to push away the irritant and it's just creating like additional cells, and it's hardening this nail bed in order to protect itself from the irritant. So this is usually what happens, and it just gets worse and worse and worse. This happens quite often lately. Can also happen due to a physical burn, really, in the UV lamp. So very often when the products are cured, they produce heat. And it's just because when the product is curing, the first few seconds, the reaction is between the molecules is so fast that it produces heat. That heat can be felt, especially again if the nail plate is thin or it's damaged. It can be felt, on your skin. And sometimes it can be so severe that it can actually burn the nail bed. So it's not burning your nail plate because the nail plate is dead, but it's burning the nail bed underneath, and it can create like a serious burn. So, I used to use gels, and I would always instruct the client that if you feel any heat, you want to pull your hand out before that happens. So usually I would tell people to put their hand in the lamp and pull it out before the heat actually happens, because actually once it happens, it's too late. But it's interesting how majority of people, what they do is they're like, no, I can take it. And I'm like, no, pull your hand out. It's actually not good for you to burn your fingers. Come on. So what you're doing is when you are pulling the hand out of the light, you're slowing down that curing process, and that stops the heat, or it slows down the heat. So that heat, if you want to know more about it, I'm going to tell you, can happen for several reasons. One, because the nail plate is too thin. Also, the product is applied too thick, and there's just too much of that heat. And third, when the lamp is not correct, it's not made specifically, or the product is not made for the lamp, or the lamp is not made for, usually the product is not made for the lamp. So this is why it's so important to use the proper lamps. And use the proper amount of product. It's always better to use thinner coats and more coats for more even curing without the heat. And some products are just formulated that way. I don't know why. They just cure very, very hot. Personally, I don't like them. So this can happen when there is enhancements in the picture. But I don't think she has enhancements. Or I don't think she had enhancements. It looks like her nails, they're not damaged. So in order to figure out what's going on with these nails, I would have to investigate a little bit. Like, what happened? Is she using anything new? This could happen because of allergic reaction to even a nail polish. Or has she been using any chemicals lately that could irritate the nail bed, really? Because this reaction is usually due to some kind of inflammation. So what happened? Did she start using a new nail polish, or is she using, let's say, a product that has a lot of formalin? This could happen too, like some kind of allergic reaction. Has she been cleaning with a lot of chemicals lately? Has she been using her hands a lot and physically creating a lot of trauma to the nails? I don't know. So normally when this happens after enhancements, the normal course of action obviously is discontinuing the enhancements and possibly using nail polish. But if she didn't have any enhancements and she didn't use any chemicals, for example, that could be very, very irritating, this possibly could be caused by a nail polish, then definitely discontinuing the nail polish would be a good idea. Another thing that could cause this type of separation is psoriasis, for example. And it's really difficult sometimes to tell if it's psoriasis or not, especially just looking at the nails like that without knowing the history of the person. But when you think about it, psoriasis is an inflammation. It is an overgrowth of cells, and very often that happens underneath the nail. So it's the nail bed is affected, sometimes the sides of the nails are affected, sometimes the matrix is affected, and the whole nail grows improperly. So definitely this is something you want to look into and figure out what's causing it. What I wouldn't do is I would not try to shorten or clean the nails too much. Keeping the nails a little bit shorter is a good idea, but just make sure you don't dig underneath the nail, because unfortunately when this happens, the hyponychium, the seal that seals the nail bed with the nail plate, is injured, right? So there is an opening for anything to enter. And unfortunately, when this happens, people can end up with bacterial infection or fungal infections. So you want to make sure that you're keeping this area nice and clean, and you are treating it very, very gently. So basically, at the end of the day, I don't have the answer. I don't know why this is happening, but I wanted to share all that information with you guys to let you know that very often there is no one answer or easy advice. You have to sometimes figure out why this is happening. And if this is not improving, then I would definitely go and see a dermatologist. But in the meantime, I would probably discontinue the nail polish use. I would use Vaseline around the nails and keep them nice and dry. And I would hope that the nails reattach and this gets better. So I hope that was a little helpful, and thank you so much for watching. Bye.